Ryu Ishigori is one of the most misunderstood characters in Jujutsu Kaisen because when you first see him, you see this guy with the weird hairdo, which he didn't have by the way in his day, and he looks like a guy who likes battles a lot, right? But deeper down, if you look into him, the more you realize Ryu isn't obsessed with fighting because he loves violence. He likes fighting because he's starving, not physically, emotionally. That's what makes his psychology so interesting. Ever notice how the most powerful characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, they're always after like the revenge or the freedom or recognition or control? Ryu Ishigori doesn't. He just wants to feel satisfied. That's it. Nothing more than satisfaction. Honestly, that's what makes him feel more weirdly human. Because beneath or like underneath all that destruction and confidence, Ryu is basically someone trapped in an endless cycle of emotional hunger. No matter what he experiences, he never feels enough. One of the smartest things that Gege Atokami did, which he didn't do a lot, is making Ryu's food metaphor. Ryu constantly compares life to a meal. People usually think that's a quirky personality trait, but that's not it. It's literally how he views existence. To Ryu, experience are consumptions, and weak fights are bland food. Average opponents are filling but forgettable, and great battles is a dessert. Something rich, intense, and satisfying. But here's the problem. Ryu can never stay full for long. That's the tragedy of his character. A lot of battle-hungry characters are trying to prove themselves. Ryu already knows how strong he is. That's not the issue with him. The issue is that strength stopped meaning anything to him a long time ago. Imagine being so naturally gifted that nothing excites you anymore. That's Ryu Ishigori. He spent his life overwhelming everyone around him so easily that he developed emotional numbness towards conflict itself. And when somebody lives without challenge for long enough, they start craving stimulation the same way a starving person craves food. That's why Ryu gets genuinely excited when facing strong opponents, not because he hates them, but because it makes him feel alive again. This is where his psychology gets deeper than people realize. Ryu isn't actually addicted to combat, he's addicted to intensity. Fighting is just the fastest way for him to experience it. The reason he smiles so much during battles isn't because he's insane, it's because for once, he's emotionally awake. Most of the time, Ryu walks through life emotionally unnerved. Then a worthy opponent appears, and suddenly he can feel everything again. Excitement, tension, curiosity, anticipation. That's why his battle feels almost joyful. He's finally getting the dessert he's been craving. And here's why his fight with Yuta matters so much. Yuta was probably the first person in a very long time who actually fulfilled Ryu emotionally. And that's important because during that fight, Ryu wasn't angry, he was desperate. He wasn't trying to dominate Yuta to feed his ego, he was genuinely happy. That fight gave him exactly what he's been searching for his entire life, satisfaction. For the first time, Ryu got complete meal. And the craziest part? He dies smiling. Not because he wanted death, but because he finally experienced fulfillment before the end. That moment completely recontextualized his character. Ryu wasn't living for victory, he was living for the feeling victory might bring. What makes Ryu tragic is how relatable his core problem actually is. A lot of people keep chasing bigger experiences because nothing feels emotionally satisfying anymore. Better entertainment, more success, more stimulation, more intensity. And eventually, normal life starts feeling dull. That's Ryu. He became so powerful that ordinary existence stopped reaching him emotionally. So he kept searching for stronger opponents, hoping one of them would finally make him feel complete. And in a weird way, he's one of the most honest characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. He doesn't pretend his hunger is noble. He doesn't hide behind mortality and ideology. He simply admits, I want more. Most battle maniacs in anime feel chaotic or psychotic. Ryu doesn't. He feels strangely mature, comfortable with himself, comfortable with his desires, and comfortable with who he is. There's almost no insecurity in him, and that confidence makes his emotional emptiness stand out even more. Because usually people think that fulfillment comes after strength, but Ryu already reached strength and he's still hungry, and that's what makes his character unsettling. He's proved that talent and power can't automatically give someone meaning. Ishigori's psychology is really about emotional starvation. He's a man who spent a long time overpowering the world that nothing in it could truly satisfy him anymore. So he kept chasing intensity, not for glory, not for ego, but to feel full for once. And honestly, that's why his final smile hit so hard, because for one brief moment, Ryu Ishigori finally got his dessert.